talk about the perfect Halloween story. Even though it's not Halloween time yet, and I'm always in the Halloween spirit, of course.
Halloween is cool.
This story has always creeped me out, and it is of course from the book Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. This one in particular is one of my favorites. Drop a comment down below letting me know what your favorite story is from these books, of course. And if you have more than one, that's okay too. I definitely have a few. But anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already if you enjoy spooky videos, because if you do, this is the place for you. So a girl wakes up to this 7 a.m. Sunday morning service at her church, and usually she would hear the bell as she was eating breakfast. But this one specific morning, she hears it as she's still in bed. So she's all like, oh no, I'm late. She gets up, freaking out, she gets dressed quickly, and she just takes off without even eating or looking at a clock. Girl, no matter how late I am, I'll be sure to make some time for coffee. What does that have to do with anything? Anyways, it was very, very dark out, which was normal this time of year. So she was on her way to church and noticed it was just really quiet. And the streets were absolutely empty. She was the only one there. The only sound she heard was that of her footsteps. Goodness, everybody must already be at church, she thought. So she decided to take a shortcut through a cemetery. Who does that? I mean, I love spooky things, but why would you take a shortcut through the cemetery when it's already looking spooky AF outside? I don't think I would, even though I like spooky things, like I said. Especially on your way to church. Girl, there was nobody around and it was still dark out. Oh my gosh, you're so brave. Anyway, the girl finally gets there. She takes a seat. So she notices the service had already begun. And when she finally catches her breath and looks around, she notices the church is filled with people she had never seen before. The woman sitting right next to her, though, looked very, very familiar. Oh, wait a minute. I know her. She then smiles at her. But wait a minute. She's dead. She died a month ago. So as soon as she realizes that, she feels so uneasy. So as her eyes start to adjust to the dim light, she looks around again and sees skeletons. And these skeletons were all in suits and dresses. Imagine that. Just put yourself in her shoes. Would you be scared? So she's looking around, freaking out, and then she thinks to herself, wait a minute, this is a service for the dead. So she notices that some of these skeletons are staring at her, and they look very, very mad. They're just looking at her as if she's an outsider, which she is. That's when that one woman she was sitting next to, the one that woke her up to this whole thing, the one that was dead, she whispers in her ear, leave right after the benediction if you care for your life. So when the service came to an end and the minister gave his blessing, she decides to grab her coat and quickly walk out. As she's walking towards the door, she hears footsteps behind her. So she glances back and sees dozens of skeletons angrily walking towards her. And this was all happening as the minister kept on doing his thing, which must be so freaky. Just think about it. So this girl is so scared. She quickly runs out of there. And they're all like, get out, you don't belong here. They were very, very angry. They were saying all of that as they ripped her coat away. So guess what this girl did? She ran through the cemetery again. Why? Especially now. Why? So as she's running through the cemetery, one of the skeletons grabs her hat and says, don't come back. And by the time she reached the street, the sun was already rising. So that's when all the dead people disappeared. So she thought to herself, did this really happen? And you know, she was just wondering if that was just a crazy, vivid dream. However, hours later, one of her friends brought over her coat and hat. And they told her they were found in the cemetery, torn to shreds. So that was not just a dream, girlfriend. This story is so spooky. It's not scary or anything. It's just spooky. It has that element that I love, like a spooky story for kids. I mean, obviously, that's why I love these books so much. It has that Coraline vibe. I always say this every time I talk about these stories. I love that vibe. Have you guys ever heard this story before? Which I'm pretty sure you have. Don't forget to drop a comment down below letting me know what scary stories to tell in the dark is your favorite. I need more water. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're having an awesome day or night. And if you're watching this at night, I hope you have sweet dreams. And if you wake up and you think you might be late, always remember to check the time before taking off, because you don't want to see these things out in the streets, do you? Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you children in my next video. Toodles!